Friends, wish you nice times. The objective behind communicating with you through this audio clip is to induct you as to how learning this subject is essential and helps you to become competent pharmacy professional. Let us take the example of learning respiratory system. Friends, while studying any system, always keep in mind the learning objectives that are given in the beginning of each system. As this is our first interaction, let me tell you the broad objectives behind the study of human anatomy and physiology as a subject. The objective is to develop three major competencies among the students. That is, after completing diploma course in pharmacy, when you will start working as a community pharmacist, and to work successfully as a pharmacist, you need some competencies. These three major competencies considered over here are like this. Number one, expertise on medications. Pharmacist is expected to be expert on medications. He is expected to know everything about the medications. Number two, educating and counseling the patients. Pharmacists need to educate the patient about the disease and the treatment prescribed, and in addition counsel the patient, advise the patient about rational, that is correct use of medications dispensed to him. And third competency is providing primary and preventive health care to community at large. Before considering these competencies in detail, I will suggest you all to read the preface of the book. Now let us consider first competency, that is expertise on medications. Now in general, in these 2 years of diploma course in pharmacy, you will be studying everything about drugs, that is medications. Apart from other things about the medications, you will be studying effects of drugs on the body, the disease and their symptoms, the diseases and their symptoms, causative factors, and pathophysiology. Friends, the abnormal physiology is disease. This changed physiology in a disease state is called as pathophysiology. Say for example, in normal physiology of respiratory system, the respiration is quite normal. That is, a person take in air, give out air without any discomfort. With quite comfortably, the respiration is going on. Whereas in respiratory disease, say asthma, the respiration is difficult due to airway resistance in narrowed bronchi. Thus, in normal physiology, bronchi, the airway tubes are normal in size and there is no resistance to air flow. However, in asthma, the disease state, the bronchial tubes are narrowed. Their diameter is decreased due to bronchospasm, that is constriction of the bronchial tubes, and swelling of bronchial mucosa, the internal lining of the bronchi. Here, to understand the asthma as disease, one should first know what is the normal anatomy and physiology of the respiratory system. The second competency is educating and counseling the patients about the disease, the treatment prescribed for the disease, and why, how, when, how much of the medications are to be taken to get rid of disease. In fact, this you learn in the subjects pharmacology and pharmacotherapeutics in the second year of the DPharm course. Say for example, bronchodilator and anti-inflammatory medications in the form of inhaler are prescribed to a asthmatic patient. Thus, a pharmacist will have to use, will have to educate the patient how to use that inhaler while dispensing that inhaler, the medications. The third competency is providing primary and preventive health care to the community. Say, in the above example of asthma, the bronchoconstriction may be due to allergens or exposure to respiratory irritants such as tobacco smoke, chemicals, and pollutants in the atmospheric air. The chemicals that are present in the smoke may irritate the respiratory tract, leading to constriction of bronchi, leading to inflammation, swelling of the bronchial internal lining, and this results into asthma. Thus, regarding these causative factors, so once the causative factors are known, the pharmacist should educate the patient and community by providing the information, that is, stop smoking, stop exposure to chemicals. Such information is to be provided by the pharmacist to the patient, which is the role of pharmacist in preventive health care. Another example of respiratory disease we may take as COPD, which stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, wherein the major cause is smoking. Again, this is a disease wherein the cause is smoking. In case of smokers, heavy smokers, they suffer from COPD. The harmful chemicals in the smoke can damage the lining of lungs. These chemicals, when come in contact with the lungs internal lining, they damage to it the airways, the internal lining of bronchial tubes. It is characterized by breathlessness. The symptom is breathlessness, persistent chesty cough, persistent cough in the chest, persistent wheezing, a sort of sound because of resistance to inspired air, and frequent chest infections. A combination of long-acting bronchodilators by inhalation using inhaler is the treatment of choice. So in case of asthma, short-acting bronchodilators are quite sufficient to relieve the symptom, whereas in case of COPD, not a single bronchodilator but combination of bronchodilators, 2 or 3 bronchodilators need to be taken together, and that too, these bronchodilators are long acting. Amongst the 2 bronchodilators, one is acting on adrenergic receptors. So thus these bronchodilators, they act in 2 different ways. One is acting on sympathetic nervous system, that is adrenergic receptors of sympathetic nervous system, and other is acting on muscarinic receptors, that is parasympathetic nervous system. Thus, for understanding action of bronchodilators, here the knowledge of anatomy and physiology of autonomic nervous system is essential, which you study this year in human anatomy and physiology. Thus, friends, the knowledge of anatomy and physiology is a prerequisite for, it is a prior requirement, prior need for initiating and understanding the pharmacology and pharmacotherapeutics. With these things in mind, keep learning, and for that, wish you all the best. Thank you.